How many times have you had those days when you've looked at your calendar and you've seen that client or you've seen that case that you need to work on? And you immediately think, what in the world was I thinking when I accepted that case or that engagement? And it probably puts you in a bad mood and it probably ruins your day. But I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Sharon Christie, founder and CEO of Bold Women Lawyers and author of the Bold Women Lawyers Solo Success Guide. After more than 15 years in solo law practice, I can tell you that there is a better way. Now, in other videos, I've talked about the importance of finding your ideal client or your best possible client and getting a steady stream of those clients to your law practice. And that's extremely important if you want to love the work that you do and be financially successful at it. But I think there's a whole nother aspect of law practice that is really completely overlooked. And it's this question: are you in the right practice area? Now, I know that can be a scary thought to think that you might not be in the right area, especially if the area of law that you practice is what you've always done. You know, maybe you've always been a family law lawyer or a bankruptcy lawyer or a trust and estates lawyer or whatever it is that you may specialize in or what your real niche is. And I understand how scary that is, but you need to think about it. Could it be that you are in the wrong area? And if so, how do you know? And if you are, what can you do about it? Well, finding the answers to these questions really requires you to be completely honest with yourself about yourself as a lawyer and about your law practice. You need to do a practice assessment. Ask yourself these questions. Do you love the work that you do? Is it challenging? Is it fulfilling? When you finish a case or an engagement, do you feel really great and satisfied, or do you just trudge on to do the next thing that you have to do? Do you like the clients that you serve? If you answered no to any of these questions, then you owe it to yourself to look at other practice areas. Now, I know this from personal experience, and I know it can be done successfully because I did it. Let me tell you a little bit about my story. I was a personal injury lawyer for 20 years. I did both defense work and plaintiff's work. I worked for a big firm. I worked for small firms. I love the work. For a long time, I loved the work. I loved the challenge. I loved putting the puzzle pieces of a case together. I did a lot of medical malpractice. I loved figuring that out. What happened? Who did it? When did it happen? Et cetera, et cetera. I really enjoyed that. I loved the courtroom work. But over time, I found that it just became less satisfying. And I reached the point where I found that it really, to me, was drudgery. The thought of answering one more interrogatory or taking the deposition of one more party or one more expert witness just became intolerable. And I knew that I had to do something else. Now, unfortunately for me, I decided I'd use the trial and error method or the sounds good method. And by that, I mean, I thought, well, I know a lot of trust and estate lawyers. They seem to be happy in what they do. They seem to be successful. I think I'll try that. So I had never done any trust and estate work. I started taking CLEs. I even registered at a local law school to audit a course in trusts and Medicaid planning. And it wasn't long after I started that course that I realized how much tax law was involved in what I thought I was going to do. And here's the thing. I hate tax law. I've always hated it. I hated it in law school. I got through it because I had to, but there was no way I was going to base my practice in an area where I needed to get involved in tax law at all. So that really was a non-starter for me. And I had to step back and move on and really then spend some time thinking about what I was going to do and what I really wanted from my law practice. Now, one of the things I knew about myself was that I really do want to be on the side of the underdog. And it's even a joke in my house because I'm a huge sports fan, and particularly football. And I have the teams that I love and I follow. But if there's a football game on, I'm going to watch it. It doesn't matter who's playing. And my husband will laugh and he'll say, well, who are you going to root for? That's easy. Whoever is not supposed to win. I am on the side of the underdog. And I knew that in my professional life, I really wanted to be on the side of the underdog. I knew that I wanted to be able to combine my skills as a nurse, because that was my first profession, and a lawyer. And I knew that I wanted to have some amount of courtroom work. So I really evaluated what I was looking for and found a practice area that met those needs. And for me, it was Social Security disability law. And so I jumped in. I loved the work, but of course, I had 0 clients to start with. But I knew that this was what I wanted to do. And I was fortunate enough to be able to do some of that work with a colleague to test it out. And I knew it was for me. And so I started with 0 clients. And I put in place systems to bring in clients that I could serve in the Social Security disability area. And I got to hundreds of clients within about 9 months. It is a decision that I have never regretted, and I never looked back. It was the best thing I ever did in my law practice. And I'm telling you, you can do the same thing if you are really dissatisfied with what you're doing. And I can help you do that. There are several other key factors to having a successful solo practice. If you know that you're ready for a thriving 6-figure plus practice without making yourself insane and losing your soul, then go to my website, boldwomenlawyers.com, and download my solo practice success guide. In there, you're going to learn a lot of things, but I talk about things like why women lawyers have problems retaining the next client and how that can ruin you financially. I talk about the systems that I put in place and how I got a steady stream of great clients in my disability practice that I never have to worry about where is the next client coming from. I talk to you about how you can free yourself from doing all that administrative work that is extremely important to keep your firm going, but you shouldn't be doing it, because if you are, you're robbing yourself of the time that you need to grow your practice. So go get your copy right now. And if you already know you're ready to go deeper, that you are ready to evaluate your practice and learn how to solve your biggest problems, then a VIP law practice intensive may be just what you're looking for. Go to my website at boldwomenlawyers.com and book a discovery call. Let's talk about how we can work together to build the practice of your dreams. I hope that you found this video helpful, and don't forget to come back next week for another practice tip.